This week, Levon and I spent 7 unforgettable days exploring Yellowstone National Park. What began as a wildlife photography adventure became so much more. We witnessed incredible moments with bison, bears, and some of the most breathtaking landscapes in America. But above all, we experienced God's faithfulness every step of the way. This was my first extended trip of my own, and it challenged me in ways I didn't expect. Through every early morning, every mile driven, and every wildlife encounter, I was reminded that God provides, guides, and gives us strength when we step outside of our comfort zones. Join us as we share the beauty, wonder, and surprises of Yellowstone through our eyes. We hope these moments encourage you to slow down, appreciate God's creation, and perhaps find the courage to take an adventure of your own. Let's head into Yellowstone, shall we? Today is a very important day for me. I'm kind of emotional. Connor and I, we were watching a series. It's called The Photographer. And it gave us the idea of having a passion project. And today is the day that I start doing it. Driving with Levon to Yellowstone. We are gonna stay in Cody for a week, and it's only me and Levon, and wish us luck. Please pray that we have a terrific week. We have a week worth of glorifying the Lord, and please pray for a lovely companion, and please pray for me while traveling. And I'm really very excited. I cannot wait to be in Yellowstone and shoot the beautiful creation. This trip was a story of God's provision. He provided care, wildlife, adventure, and a faithful companion by my side. Before we even entered Yellowstone, He surprised us with our first wildlife encounter, a grizzly bear. I haven't even get to the park and we saw a bear. Seeing a grizzly is always a blessing when it is in the right circumstances. This one was shy, tucked away among the fallen trees. It only showed itself for a few minutes before disappearing again. But those few minutes were enough to fill me with awe. It felt like Yellowstone was welcoming us. We entered Yellowstone through the south entrance, and from that moment on, the adrenaline never really left. Yellowstone is massive. If you have never been there, be prepared to spend long hours driving if you want to experience all it has to offer. Levon and I spent a week exploring as much of it as we could. Before the trip, Connor encouraged me to find a passion project. The answer didn't come as easily. After thinking and thinking about it for months, I decided I wanted to share God's Word through my nature photography. I want people to see His love for this world through the beauty He created. It's official. I'm on Yellowstone. Oh my gosh. I came to a stop. I'm looking at a geyser, a little one. So look at it, it's a geyser. Woo! Our first stop was West Thumb. Every time I parked, I intentionally choose a spot far away from everyone else. Levon has a deep, intimidating bark, and I didn't want him to announce our arrival to the entire parking lot. We found some elk! Yay! They were 2 at the beginning and now they are 5. I don't know if there's more behind them. My first day on Yellowstone, and I am going towards Cody. Not long after, we spotted elk
along the shores of Yellowstone Lake. What began as 2 elk quickly became 6 before we left. The entire trip, I found myself wrestling with the same dilemma. Do I stay and enjoy the wildlife God has placed right in front of me, or do I keep moving, wondering what might be waiting around the next bend? In Yellowstone, there is always the possibility of another surprise. One thing you will quickly learn is that spotting wildlife isn't always difficult. Most of the time, all you have to do is look for parked cars. If there are cars, chances are there's an animal nearby. That is exactly how I found this owl. A crowd had already gathered, and with Levon waiting in the truck, I didn't stay long. Still, every morning, I found myself returning to that same spot, hoping to discover what else Yellowstone might reveal. Later that day, we were making our way to Cody, nearly out of the park, when I noticed another crowd gather along the roadside. I found a place to park and look over. There, stretched beside a tiny creek, was a grizzly bear. The afternoon was warm, and the bear looked perfectly content, napping in the cool grass. For quite a while, all we could see was its bum, so we waited. I watched the bear. Levon watched the people. Then, slowly, the grizzly slid onto its belly and eased itself into the cold water. A few moments later, it stood up and began to walk. The instant it rose to its feet, goosebumps covered my arms. I had never truly understood how massive a grizzly bear is until that moment. Yet, despite its size, it moved with incredible grace. When it lifted its head and I saw its face for the first time, I was speechless. My heart raced. Tears filled my eyes. Gratitude washed over me as I stood among complete strangers, all of us sharing the same unforgettable moment. Yet, every time I looked through my viewfinder, it felt as if there was only the bear and me. Eventually, the grizzly disappeared back into the woods. A quiet happiness settled over the crowd. No one needed to say anything. We all knew we had witnessed something special. The drive out of the park was filled with endless curves and breathtaking scenery. Our first day in Yellowstone had been more than I could have ever hoped for. With a grateful heart, Levon and I arrived back at the hotel to rest. Tomorrow will bring a new day of adventure. I'm very excited. It's my first full day in Yellowstone National Park. And yesterday I drove through it. I saw bears, I saw elk. The sun is just rising. I'm a little late, but I promised Connor that I was going to drive for the first time with sun, so I know the road. So let's see what we can find today. For Connor, it was important that my first drive into Yellowstone happened in the daylight. He wanted me to get familiar with the roads, the scenery, and the landscape before navigating them in the dark. So that morning, Levon and I left the hotel at 5 a.m. Cody is about an hour from Yellowstone's east entrance, and as the sun began to rise, a new day of adventures was waiting for us. Our first wildlife encounter was a bear in the distance. We stayed with it for more than an hour, hoping it would move closer, but it never did. As the minutes passed, I found myself wrestling with a familiar question. Should I stay and hope, or should I move on? When I am unsure, I usually do the same thing. I ask Connor. So I sent him a message. His reply was simple. Onward. So onward we went. There's a bear somewhere on that area. I cannot see it. I see it with my eyes, but... Okay, so it's above those green trees. That speck moving is a bear. This little fella is crying. I don't know. He was very patient when I was trying to shoot the bear. It didn't come close to us, so I don't know what he wants. What do you want, Yvonne? There's bison over there. One thing Yellowstone never runs out of is bison. It is hard to believe they were once on the brink of extinction. Today, they seem to be everywhere, around every corner, across every meadow, beside nearly every road. I was especially excited when I found them near the fumaroles. I set up my camera and waited, hoping to capture a bison through the rising steam. It sounds simple enough, but let me tell you, it wasn't. I took hundreds of photographs for that one image. Sometimes wildlife photography is less about pressing the shutter and more about patience. I just got a cool photo of a bison laying down with the geysers behind him. Look, behind me, there he is. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Yellowstone covers an incredible amount of ground, and the excitement kept me moving. Our next stop brought us closer to another group of bison. I have a deep respect for them. They are powerful animals, and I always make sure to give them plenty of space. I love God's creation, and I value my life enough not to test the patience of a bison. What made the moment even sweeter were the babies. Seeing the little ones following their mother and watching how attentively those mamas care for them filled my heart with joy. It's been a bison day. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. You have no idea how excited I am. I saw one nursing and two little ones. Oh, it's baby time. Oh my goodness. At the same time, something else was unfolding in the distance. A group of sandhill cranes seemed deeply upset by the presence of a coyote. They called and called, their voices carrying across the landscape. People nearby were convinced the coyote was taking one of their colts. But as I watched and reviewed my photos and video later, I wasn't so sure. There were no feathers scattered around, no signs of a struggle, no obvious evidence of what people were describing. The whole scene made me think about the circle of life. Just minutes earlier, I had watched a mother bison nursing her calf. Here, people believe a sandhill crane family might have suffered a loss. Nature often places joy and hardship side by side. Whatever the truth was, it reminded me how much of nature remains a mystery. It's bison day. Oh my gosh, and they have teeny tiny ones. Oh, look, there's one running. Oh, it stopped. How adorable is that? There's a big herd over there crossing the river. And then, let's see, that dot, it's a mama with a baby. And I'm taking photos of them. Hold on. You don't need to see my camera, but look, that's how far away I am from them. There's a river in between us. I saw a mama and a baby swimming. Oh my gosh, that was so intense. Eventually, we moved on and made our way to Mammoth Hot Springs. We are at Mammoth, and this place is dry this year. I don't know how long has it been like that. The first time I came here, it was just bubbling with water and geysers, and it stank. And now it's dry, but I'm taking a landscape photo. I changed my battery, and I didn't realize that I put the wrong battery, so I gotta go to the truck again and grab a new battery. It is a reminder that the earth is alive and always changing. I would have loved to spend more time here, but Levon had other plans. He was making his presence known from the parking lot, so our visit was shorter than expected. Later, we stopped to admire the scenery and received an unexpected gift. So somewhere in the middle, there's the big, massive green tree. Above it, there's a hole, And above the hole, there's a nest. I have been waiting for the mama raven to come back. I think I have photos of it, but I just want to be sure that I got photos. So I'm just waiting here patiently. Uh, I have been waiting for more or less 5 minutes, and the mama has um, been flying around, but she has nothing to offer to her baby. Two ravens were raising three chicks on a cliff. Of all the wildlife moments in Yellowstone, this became one of my favorites. I sat there watching their parents work together. Back and forth they flew, constantly bringing food to the three hungry babies. It was teamwork in its purest form. When most of people think of ravens, they probably don't picture tenderness, but that's exactly what I witnessed. One of my favorite photographs from the trip shows a parent quietly checking on its chicks, making sure they were comfortable and safe in the nest. It's such a gentle moment, a sight of ravens we rarely get to see. After taking those photographs, I paused to thank the Lord for allowing me to witness something special. I wish that little raven family a good life and continue on our way, carrying another beautiful memory from Yellowstone with me. The goal of today is to arrive to Lamar Valley. Yesterday was a bison day. Oh my gosh, I saw bison all over the place. It was amazing. So wish me luck. I got Levon. Levon is being a good boy. Yesterday he cried a little bit, but after I took him out, he chilled, and I am enjoying my journey with him. On our way to Lamar Valley, we spotted a black bear and watched as it quietly continued on its way. Soon enough, we were doing the same. Lamar Valley feels like another world. As soon as we arrived, the Lamar River welcomed us with a pair of ospreys hard at work. Their nest was impossible to miss. Perched high atop a dead tree near a pullout, it towered over the landscape like a crown. The parents were busy caring for their young. One stayed on the nest while the other searched for food. Then they switched places. It was a completely different parenting style from the ravens we had watched earlier. The teamwork was beautiful to witness. Unfortunately, that was also where I realized I had lost my microphone. I'm pretty sure it happened when I let Levon out before we reached the valley. I searched and retraced my steps in my mind, but it was gone. Not far down the road, we stopped again when we spotted a lone bison. We spent some time watching it as it rolled in the dirt and stopped for a drink. It never ceases to amaze me how an animal so large can move with such agility and grace. Lamar Valley is one of those places where wildlife seems to be everywhere. Bison, bears, foxes, ospreys. You never know what might appear next. Behind me there's a massive herd of bison, and they have red dogs. That's the way they call the babies, and they are wonderful. I saw them nursing. They are laying down, most of them, so you have to be patient. Eventually we came across a large herd of bison enjoying the warmth of the day. I parked along the roadside and settled in to watch them. Meanwhile, Levon had curled up on the bed I brought from home and was enjoying a well-earned nap in the truck. This was where I truly fell in love with the red dogs. That's what people call baby bison because of their beautiful rust-colored coats. They were absolutely adorable. That reddish fur, it's only temporary. Within a few months, their coats darken to deep brown color of the adults, and their horns and shoulder humps begin to develop. We spent nearly an hour with them. One was pushing its baby with its head. It was so wonderful. I got photos of that. One moment especially stayed with me. I watched a mother bison gently nudging her calf and caring for it in ways most people never think about. Her raw tongue was helping stimulate important bodily functions that newborn calves need during the first days of life. It was one more reminder of the care given through creation. God thought of everything. Through the day, we watched bison cross the road several times. Every single time, Levon would sit tall and lock his eyes on them. He never barked. He never made a sound. He simply watched. I think he was just impressed by their size as I was. I am on my way back to Cody, to the hotel. I'm very far away from it. I am 2 hours away from it without stopping, and I am stopping. I am taking photos of the view behind me. Look at it. It's fantastic, isn't it? Oh my gosh, I had a terrific time in Lamar Valley, and I shoot red dogs, which are baby bison. They are adorable. And I also shoot a family of sandhill cranes. Oh my goodness, they had a little one, a little tiny one. Oh, he was adorable, and he was just beep, 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 beep. And its parents were teaching him how to eat. Oh my goodness, it was really, really adorable. As we made our way out of Lamar Valley, we came across another sweet surprise. A pair of sandhill cranes were teaching their colt what to eat. The little one ran back and forth between its parents while they pecked at the ground, showing it where to find food. The colt will hurry over and copy what they were doing. It was one of the sweetest family moments we witnessed on the trip. I had come to Yellowstone hoping to see babies. And over again, Jesus placed those moments right in front of me. I wanted to experience God's creation. I wanted to know Him better through the natural world. And everywhere I looked, He was revealing His love through the animals, the landscapes, and the small moments I never could have planned. Lamar Valley was full of wildlife, but what I remember most is the care. Parents caring for their young, families staying together, life flourishing all around us, and through it all, I could see the fingerprints of God. Dogs are pretty restricted in the national parks. They can only be out on a leash in developed areas, such as parking lots, visitor centers, and pullouts. We were fortunate though. Many of the places we stopped were quiet, and we often had the entire parking lots to ourselves. So whenever we could, Levon and I would go for a walk. His little nose was busy taking every scent Yellowstone had to offer. Our dogs are a little feral. We rarely use a leash at home, so Levon wasn't exactly thrilled about the arrangement. Still, we enjoyed those walks together. His little nose got to meet Yellowstone. And honestly, I think Yellowstone enjoyed meeting him too. We are at Sylvan Lake, and it's very peaceful. I'm taking a landscape photo, and look at it, it's just beautiful. Oh my gosh. Wow. I see some ducks swimming around. There, can you see them? Let's see. There you go. Of course, Yellowstone isn't only about wildlife. What would Yellowstone be without its landscapes? The diversity of this place is breathtaking. Towering mountains, rivers, forests, lakes, geothermal features, and wildlife all woven together into one incredible ecosystem. God's creativity is on full display here. One of my favorite quiet corners is Sylvan Lake. It's peaceful, beautiful, and often overlooked by visitors rushing towards the park's more famous destinations. That morning, We arrived early. Rain would follow us for the next 2 days, and this was only the beginning. I am in Yellowstone and I'm having a nice conversation with a raven. Tuk, 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 tuk. And he's answering me. Well, I'm taking a photo of the landscape behind me. Hold on. There you go, landscape. Not long after, we spotted a bison pushing its way through the trees toward the highway. I stopped with plenty of space between us and watched. The bison looked like it had just woken up and wasn't particularly pleased about anything. To my surprise, it started walking directly towards us. Levon's eyes grew huge. The closer the bison got, the more certain I became that it intended to walk right past the truck. And it did. The massive animal passed only inches from my side mirror. For a moment, neither of us moved. We simply stared. I was in awe, and I was incredibly proud of Levon. Not a bark, not a growl, not a sound. He just watched. As soon as the bison passed, I pulled into the next turnout and gave Levon a hug. That had been a little too close for comfort, and there wasn't another person around. As I sat there, calming down and thanking the Lord for His protection, I found myself admiring the fumaroles near Yellowstone Lake. Then I noticed movement, a tiny movement. To my surprise, a marmot was wandering right through the geothermal area. I quickly grabbed a few photographs before another vehicle passed and it startled it away. There was a marmot in this area. It was really cool. It was eating grass, but a car passed and it scared it away. A car that make noise. Oh look, there it is. Can you see it? It's going down. It's kind of raining, but I don't care. I'm in Yellowstone, so who cares? And I'm taking a photo of the fumaroles behind me. It is wonderful. On the opposite side of the fumaroles, a bison and several Canada geese stood quietly in the rain. By then, it was pouring, but neither Levon nor I had any intention of giving up, no matter the weather. We were determined to keep exploring. Hey guys, I just saw harlequin ducks and they are incredible. Oh my gosh, they swim against the current and the current is really hard and they are super incredible. I hope you like the photos. Our next stop was Lee Hardy's Rapids, home to one of the birds I was most excited to see, harlequin ducks. And wow, they immediately earned my respect. As a swimmer, I couldn't stop watching them. These little ducks spend their lives battling powerful currents, effortlessly swimming against rushing water that would challenge most creatures. They made it look easy. Again and again, they dove beneath the surface, completely fearless. Then, they would climb onto the rocks and rest before heading right back into the current. Watching them reminded me that we all have a purpose. Life isn't always easy. Sometimes the current pushes hard against us. But when we place our trust in God's hands, He gives us the strength to keep moving forward and safely through whatever lies ahead. I just captured a mama killdeer with babies and she lives right here. What? She's somewhere. Oh, there she is. Can you see her? Oh my gosh. Isn't that really sweet? She has 4 babies underneath her wings. After that, Levon and I spent some time waiting in the parking lot at Mud Volcano, hoping for a break in the rain. Eventually, the weather gave us a small window. As soon as I stepped out of the truck, I spotted a mother killdeer sheltering tiny chicks beneath her wings. It was one of the sweetest sights of the trip. The little ones disappeared completely beneath her feathers, safe and protected from the cold rain. Every now and then, one will peek out and wander a short distance before quickly returning to the safety of mom. Watching them made me think about the word home. Home means something different to every creature. For those tiny birds, this rugged geothermal landscape was home. And somehow, it was perfect. I decided to give Artist Point another try after taking Levon for a walk. Artist Point is stunning. The lower falls plunges 308 feet into the canyon below, filling the air with the powerful sound of rushing water. I have always loved the sound of moving water, and standing there, listening to the falls thunder through the canyon, it was easy to understand why this is one of Yellowstone's most beloved places. The next day, we arrived at the park around 7 in the morning. It was still raining. I haven't stopped thanking the Lord for His provision for this journey and for His creation. Look behind me, it's incredible. I stopped to photograph Yellowstone Lake before we slowly began making our way toward Old Faithful. But first, we made our regular stop at Fishing Bridge Visitor Center so Levon could stretch his legs. If you are traveling with a dog, it is one of the best places in Yellowstone. The wooden areas around the bathrooms gave Levon plenty of new scents to investigate, and his nose was working overtime. On our way to Old Faithful, we spotted an elk relaxing near the road. We pulled over, took a quick photo, and continued on our way. Driving through Yellowstone often feels like traveling through an endless forest. Mile after mile, towering evergreens line the road. The trees seem to stretch forever, creating walls of green on either side of you. That morning was no different. Levon and I were making our way toward Old Faithful, surrounded by those endless woods, when suddenly the trees opened up. And that's when I saw it. A bald eagle. After 2 straight days of rain and clouds, the light was soft and beautiful, and everything felt calm, peaceful, and sacred. God is light. And that morning, He revealed His beauty through one of His most majestic creations. Eventually, it was time to continue on to Old Faithful. And true to its name, Old Faithful was faithful. It erupted right on schedule. The eruption itself only lasted a few minutes, but while I waited, I found myself sitting quietly on a bench, reflecting on everything that had happened during the week. The bears, the bison, the birds, the landscape, all the unexpected moments, all the little gifts God had placed along the way, and of course, the time spent with Levon. Traveling together had strengthened our bond in a way I hadn't expected. We had shared long drives, rainy mornings, wildlife encounters, and countless little adventures. As I sat there watching Old Faithful, I felt grateful for all of it. Did you enjoy Old Faithful? I did. Oh my gosh, it was amazing. Let's continue walking around the area. Once the eruption was over, I took a short walk around the area. I never wandered far from the truck. Traveling with a puppy meant constantly thinking ahead. His comfort and safety were always on my mind. This trip was as much his adventure as it was mine. As we were leaving the park, God had one more surprise waiting for us. A couple of bighorn sheep seemed to be having an argument high up on the cliff, and somehow They brought it all the way down to the road. Watching them clash right in the middle of the highway was incredible. The next morning, our shortest day in Yellowstone. But this morning felt different. I left Cody at 4:30 a.m. beneath a beautiful moon hanging over the Wyoming landscape. I had a goal for my final day in the park. Instead of searching for bears, bison, elk, and all the wildlife Yellowstone is famous for, I wanted to focus on the little things. The animals most people drive right past, the ones that rarely create a traffic jam, the ones quietly living their lives while everyone else is looking for big game. Our first stop was Sylvan Lake. If you're searching for a peaceful corner of Yellowstone, this is one of my favorite places. The lake is beautiful, calm, and often surprisingly empty.
It is my last day in Yellowstone, and I am at Sylvan Lake, and I am shooting ducks because I miss little birdies. and they live here too. So it's gonna be a short day for us, and I'm planning to drive for more or less an hour, and then heading back to Cody and fixing our backpacks and everything.
That morning, I watched a pair of mullards swimming close together. They look like old friends catching up after being apart for a while. They stayed close to one another, gliding across the water as if they had all the time in the world. Not long after, a common merganser came speeding through the lake.
I just took a cool photo and cool videos of grouse, and it was really incredible. It was really close.
Later, we stopped at an overlook. I was searching for tree swallows when I heard a familiar sound. Immediately, I knew there was a grouse nearby. The sound was unmistakable. I looked around and, to my surprise, found the bird only a few feet from where I was sitting. It was a dusky grouse, a species I have never photographed before. Beautiful and remarkably similar to some of its cousins. It blended perfectly into its surroundings. What fascinated me the most was its drumming. The sound reminded me of a heartbeat echoing through the forest. For a few moments, it felt like Yellowstone itself was breathing. Every time, without fail, I have stopped in Yellowstone and looking for wildlife, no matter if I go for a couple of minutes or if I am gone for an hour. He's on the driver's seat. Hey, Levon, are you driving us? Yeah, you're driving us. Before leaving the park, we made one final stop to visit the harlequin dogs. I couldn't resist seeing them one more time. Watching them navigate rushing water so effortlessly was just as impressive as it had been the first time. That stop marked the end of our Yellowstone adventure. We headed back early that afternoon. There was packing to do and preparations to make for the drive home the next day.
When you come to Yellowstone, please pay attention to the little things. There's a lot of little birdies like tree swallows, robins, wrens, sage grouse, ducks. Oh my gosh, it's full of little things. Don't take it for granted. Pay attention to them, and they are gonna make your journey even better.
As I reflected on the week, I realized how much life exists in Yellowstone beyond animals most visitors come to see. Tree swallows darting through the air, song sparrows singing from hidden perches, Townsend's solitaries quietly watching from the trees, countless Canada geese and ducks, squirrels and chipmunks scurrying through the underground, and if you're lucky, even a pelican swimming on the river. Yellowstone is famous for its bears and bison, but some of its greatest treasures are the small lives quietly unfolding in the background, waiting for someone to notice them. So what did you think? What was your favorite part? Mine was sharing it with Levon, to be honest with you. Levon made the journey easier and he made it even better. And he was pulling me all the time. But hey, it's new smells and he wants to smell the world. Please remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, leave a comment and a like. I wanna know what was your favorite part. It turned out to be a bison trip. Everywhere I looked, there were bison, huge herds, tiny calves, and so much life. I was surrounded by babies of all kinds. Baby bison, killdeer, osprey, and ravens. I was also blessed to see harlequin dogs twice, an extraordinary bird that somehow swims against the rushing current with strength and grace. Through it all, I haven't stopped thanking the Lord for His provision and for taking such good care of us. This was my first trip by myself. I'm not by myself, I'm with Levon. And it taught me something really important. I can do hard things because Christ is with me. Every mile, every early morning, every challenge reminded me that I'm never alone. Yellowstone gave me more than wildlife sightseeings and photographs. It gave me confidence, gratitude, and a deeper appreciation for the beauty of God's creation. I hope you enjoy following along this journey as much as I enjoy living it. What a way to finish our Yellowstone adventure. We saw two bears, and they were, one was kind of close, to be honest with you. I saw her digging and eating roots and worms, and the other one was just wandering around. It was so amazing. To my surprise, Yellowstone chose to end the journey the same way it began, with grizzly bears. Not one, but two. The second grizzly was much easier to see. It was feeding close to the road, under the watchful supervision of Yellowstone staff. The park does an incredible job protecting both visitors and wildlife, and rangers were there making sure everyone kept a safe distance. The bear seemed completely content. It spent what felt like forever digging in the dirt and searching for food. I stood there among a crowd of strangers, watching quietly. And once again, something happened that had occurred throughout the entire trip. Every time I looked through the viewfinder, it felt like the rest of the world disappeared. The people faded away, the noise faded away, and for a moment, it was just the wildlife and me. By the end of the trip, I had documented 26 species in 7 days. Honestly, I was surprised by that number. It is incredible how much wildlife you can encounter by simply driving Yellowstone's roads and paying attention. I'd never hiked during this trip. With Levon along, hiking wasn't really an option, and I am certainly not interested in hiking alone in bear country. But even without stepping onto a trail, Yellowstone gave me more than I could have imagined. When I look back on the trip, I realize it changed me. I set out hoping to photograph wildlife, but I came home with something more. I put my heart, my plans, and my journey in God's hands, and He took care of the rest. Yellowstone gave me beautiful photographs, but the greatest gift was learning, once again, that when I trust God with the journey, He's faithful to guide the way. As our Yellowstone adventure comes to an end, my heart is full of gratitude for the wildlife we encounter, the beauty we witness, and the countless ways God provided through this journey. This trip reminded me that some of life's greatest blessings are found when we step out of faith and trust Him with the unknown. Thank you for coming along with Levon and me. We hope you enjoyed this adventure and found a little inspiration in God's incredible creation. Until next time, keep exploring, keep wondering, and don't forget to look for the beauty all around you. And please remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, leave a comment and a like. See you next week.